smoking, it's a revolution. Revolution, revolution. Shots to your head, it's an execution. Execution, execution. It's being us versus the corrupt. Red dot, put a cross to your head. Let the Lord interrupt. Interrupt, interrupt. Gun smoking, it's a revolution. Revolution, revolution. Shots to your head, it's an execution. Execution, execution.
Gun smoking, it's a revolution.
What's going on, big bro?
What is up? Dude, I didn't even think we were going to get this episode started.
Yeah. You guys.
For-
John over there trying to focus his camera. The next thing you know, the whole background's all jacked up. Then he tries to flip it again. Next thing I know, I'm looking down at his freaking nutsack.
for being
Not
a
literally, but it,
fucking-
literally, pretty much. Like it was pointed down at his crotch, and he just couldn't get it figured out.
Oh my god, for being a YouTube guy, you would think I would be better at this shit, dude. Oh man, Don, it's been a little while. So in full transparency, we actually did film an episode about a week ago, and for reasons not to be discussed right now, we did not put it out. We normally don't do shit like that, but you know, sometimes shit happens. So,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
this is episode 39, part 2.
Yeah, this is part 2. I mean, which is kind of I guess we actually found out a little bit more stuff really what we talked about in 39, right? I
For
mean,
sure.
there's
Yep.
a little bit more information. In case you guys don't know, there's just some things going on, and unfortunately, we had to pull the episode. Not because of anything in the episode, really, it's other stuff. So
Don, I promise you, I will not shout effing slow people. I promise you. I promise you I won't do that. Man, it's been a while since we've actually introduced ourselves. So the guy over here, that's Mr. Don Welch. You know him for the sick beats, like the intro right there. My name is John. You know me from To a Patriot Ranch, the Pew Pew Pews. Shout out right now. Get nothing fancy. You can click the link down below. Sick ass hats. I think I've worn a different one every episode for the last 3 or 4 episodes. Get yourself a little discount down there. Huge shout out also to my background, the folks over at Hold Up Displays. We got to get Don one too, because these things.
Yeah, I need that.
These things are fucking badass. Well, I guess since we didn't put out the last episode,
because actually the last episode we talked about the wall.
We talked about the wall. So as you guys can see, this is my new studio wall here from Hold Up Displays. This is I believe it's a 4x8 wall. You guys can only see a little bit of it. There's rifles out to both sides, but really kick-ass wall. I would say it's like if you are mechanically inclined, you will have no problem at all putting up one of these walls. If you are John, blood, sweat, and tears trying to get this fucking wall up.
If you're the guy that likes tinkering with your 5 to 25 scope and putting levels on it, that's for you. It's gonna be really easy for you.
You know what?
They don't know why I'm saying that.
Yeah. So fuck you, Don, for that one. I put out a video on a scope that I ended up giving to Don, and I had a hard time with it. And I said in the video that I had a hard time with it. And then I caught a lot of shit in the comments for saying that I had a hard time with it. So yeah, fuck you for that one too. Back to what we were talking about with the fucking wall. It's a really kick-ass product. It's like I said, it's really not that hard. It was just me. It was just
I will
me.
say this, dude, the wall looks awesome.
Yeah.
So no matter how long no matter all the incidences that The Quidinks.
Yeah, no matter what.
No matter what, it looks freaking phenomenal now, dude.
I think I told you about this the other day, but just because I have them up on my wall now, I want to give a shout out to Zemo, our friends over at Zemo Pouches that helped sponsor the show last quarter. They just released a collab. I think it's a lemon. I think it's lemon ice. It's either lemon or lemon ice nicotine pouch with Gun Owners of America, and $5 from every brick sold goes to GOA.
Hey,
My folks
that's
over at
huge.
Emo, that is huge. Hopefully, we played a part in making that happen. I don't know, but um,
If we did,
if we did, pat ourselves on the back. If we didn't, well, we'll just take credit for it. Uh,
guys at Zemo are awesome.
yeah,
they're
those
awesome.
those guys are awesome. Man, in the news that's kind of like unrelated to shit that we normally talk about, Don. My mom sent this to me, and then I think I reshared it on my personal, and I believe I shared it on Liberty Goons Instagram as well. Uh, Studies have now come out that say that testosterone is nothing but beneficial to males, and that the only people that should not do a program like a TRT type program are people that have pre-existing conditions. Duh, kind of like the vid.
Hmm.
Fuck you to all of the doctors that are these old cranky motherfuckers that have said that testosterone is dangerous for you. It's not, folks. Now, you don't want to go down the road. There's other synthetics that are very not good for you, right? You Winstrol and some of that other stuff.
Yeah, you can start getting
Um,
into like some chemical weird things going on for sure.
yeah, I'm
Definitely.
strictly talking about testosterone here. Don knows I've been on testosterone for about the past 2 years. Got the blood work done, all that kind of stuff. And now these studies have come out, and I'm actually going to print it out when I go into my VA appointment this week, because the last time I went to the VA, the ratchety old fuck like literally scolded me and told me that whoever I was talking to is not a real doctor.
Wow.
So I can't wait to print these out and be like, here you go, fucktard. Oh,
Yeah,
I
and
said I wasn't going to say that. That was what do they call that? That was like a compound word. It was a contraction. It's fine. It was fine. No, no, it was okay. It's okay. It's allowed. It's allowed. It's allowed, guys.
uh,
Um, but
yeah.
yeah,
I
like
mean, I to be honest with you, like everybody that I know, I mean, obviously we have another friend too, who's actually what is it's John Amelli? No, how do you say his name?
Manelli.
Manelli. Yeah, John.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said it right. Super cool dude. But I mean, even he was talking about like all the massive benefits from it, and I mean, I've never heard anything bad about it. I will say this, like, well, okay, if you're a type like if you're a diabetic, you probably kind of want to talk to your doctor. The reason
Sure.
why is that it will affect your blood sugar, and the reason why it affects your blood sugar for is because when you have like a massive amounts of testosterone that you aren't producing yourself, you're having a chemical imbalance, and that it gets processed through the pancreas and your kidneys and everything else, which is typically a good thing, but for diabetics, it can be a bad thing. That's why they tell you like, hey, don't take like if for example like if you get into an injury or something like that, and they want to put you on like cortisone shots or they want to
Hmm.
put you on steroids, like typically most of the time with diabetics they avoid that because
Yeah.
it creates insane like crazy like highs and lows with blood sugar.
Yeah, and that's why I say you definitely want to make sure that you're good. You do need to go get the blood tests, commonly the blood tests were used for finding out what your testosterone level was to find out how to treat it if you would have low T, right? But low T is all kind of presumptive, right? It's just it's objective.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is like some people will be like, you know, they're like at what like 690, 700, and they're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get on testosterone.
Right, which is
It's like, which is
honestly
what
fine,
I think is fine too, right? Like I think it's fine
but
because
you
I
do
had
need
my
to get the blood work for what you were just talking about, though, which
correct.
you need to find out if all your other stuff is good, not necessarily what the testosterone. I mean, that plays a part. I'm not saying that that
Yeah,
doesn't play a part, but you want to make sure that you don't have freaking type 2 diabetes and don't even know it, you know?
yeah, or like pre diabetes is like a big thing now, you know.
Right,
Uh,
exactly. But it
but
goes
yeah,
into like the whole kind of full body health, and like I went through a time back when I was 35. Yes, guys, I'm older than 35. Uh where like I lost a lot of weight. And recently, because I changed jobs and I've been eating a lot of good food, I've packed on some LBs. So make the fat jokes now down in the comments like you have before, because they're actually factual. But with that said, when I was doing it and doing I was on TRT. I was taking some peptides, taking TB 500 and CJC 1295, and now there's some better stuff out in the peptide range. I won't get too much because I don't want to. I'm not a doctor, so I don't want to give you guys advice.
yeah,
I'm
I'm not a doctor either, so don't take in my advice on
I'm not a doctor, but I don't think you should be bleeding from the ear.
it. But I did stay at a Holiday Inn last night.
But there's a lot of stuff nowadays that in modern medicine that your cranky old ratchety fucking doctor, especially the ones at the VA, are going to look down upon. So do your own research, get your own blood tests, still talk to qualified people in the arena, but don't take your family physician that's 90 years old about to fucking kick the bucket himself's advice on that kind of stuff.
I mean, honestly, like I like the thing is like I've had my testosterone levels done, like they're fine, but like obviously I'm getting older, and if I wasn't a type 1 diabetic, like I would have no problem. I've even talked to, like even, my girl about it. I'm like, hey, like I would like to do this. And, she's like, well, talk to a doctor. So like even I'm thinking about like trying to veer to that. Because the thing is like if if you guys are super young, if you're 20 years old,
Don't
right?
do it.
Like probably a bad idea to like just go ahead and hop on it. But when you get a little bit older, I got a baby. I barely get any sleep. I'm tired all the time. And usually testosterone levels, like it, even if your testosterone levels are good, right? But you're running your body through like an absolute ringer. You can really benefit from testosterone. So that's how I look at it. And honestly, I like something that you said too, because think about this: all those doctors that were telling you that you need to get this vaccination and that vaccination, we won't even talk about it. And then all of a sudden, like you read up case studies on it, and you see that people are dying from this
Mhm.
vaccination or that vaccination, whatever the case is. I'm not talking about the one that everybody's got on their mind, but there's tons
All
of
of
them
them.
out there. All
Yep.
of them, you have all types of problems with. Look, there has been people that have been cured from, I don't even want to call it cured from cancer, but I have a friend right now. He's in the shooting industry. He went through colon cancer, like terrible colon cancer, and he swears up and down his diet whenever he got it has helped him essentially get rid of it. Like he's like in recession right now. So
Well, you and I talked about it before on the show here. Um, you know, type 2 diabetes does not need to be treated with medicine.
mm-mm,
You
absolutely not.
if you can control the insulin reactions in your body, you can better yourself without having to pump yourself full of a bunch of bullshit.
Mm.
Speaking of the curing cancer thing, dude, did you see this story? And I believe it's a documentary now. It's either on Netflix or Amazon Prime or something. I can't remember which one it was on. There's this girl that faked having cancer. She started like a blog and an Instagram.
Yes, I actually watched this whole entire
Yeah.
Netflix thing with my chick, dude.
Was this shit not crazy?
It was kind of nuts. And like we obviously we had just had the baby, and like we're sitting there and she's like screaming all night long. So we're like, we might as well watch something. And she turned that on, and I was like, honestly, I didn't think I was gonna be glued to it, but I was glued to it because it was
I was blown away.
super interesting, man.
So long story short, I like you should go watch the documentary. I wish I could remember what the lady's name was, but she creates like this whole health and wellness like life like social presence, and basically like how to cure yourself from cancer.
And like eating all these like specific foods and cooking, and it's like eating
Yeah.
through good health.
And she
But
like blew up, and she was taking donations and like all kinds of stuff. And long
well,
story short,
she also lied because she said that she had brain cancer.
yeah, exactly.
So there's that.
Yeah. Long story short, the chick didn't have cancer.
Yeah, she
Didn't have cancer. I know that was like way off topic, but you mentioned like curing yourself from cancer, and I was like, dude, that freaking show.
But with that being said, there's all types of benefits from foods, right? Like I can tell you, like me and John have been on here before, even talking about it. Like, hey, like you should probably eat this or do this and do that, and it's like sometimes I eat like crap, sometimes I eat super healthy. It's just like the nature of the beast. I get it, I understand.
Yep.
But if you have a severe health problem, you should be trying. Okay, I'm a type 1 diabetic, which isn't due to like BMI. It's not like that's
No.
not what's causing it. And what's causing it is you end up having your red blood cells attack your white blood cells, and it kills it in the pancreas, and you just stop producing insulin. And there's nothing you can really do about it. Like that's it. Where type 2, it's usually because you're blocking your fatty cells, and it doesn't soak up insulin the way that it should.
Right. So you're spiking insulin.
So you're spiking insulin. Yeah. So you'll see these and insulin makes you gain weight, people.
Mm-hmm.
So this is why, like, you talk to like bodybuilders, they'll like, I remember the first time I ever heard it, I'm like, wait, you're taking insulin? Insulin can kill you. Well, yes, it can, but also if you want to gain weight and you know how to do it right, like you can obviously gain weight and get pretty big. And especially if you're doing other things, and you can get really big. But
that's why the reverse is true.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're a type 2 diabetic, if you intermittent fast and you decrease the amount of time that you are causing an insulin reaction in your body, it helps you burn fat faster. So the less time your body is using insulin to react, the more time it is burning the fatty cells inside of your body. And we could get down the road of like autophagy and clearing out the dead cells and all kinds of stuff, but I digress on that.
Yeah, I mean, we could get super scientific, especially me, because like
this is your field.
Yeah, like diabetes is kind of what I do in life in general. I mean, being a type 1 for 30 years,
this is your thing,
and other stuff too.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah. Anyway,
back to the show.
Crazy that we're having this conversation because that was completely unexpected. But the one good thing about this show is, like, okay, so me and John are pretty predominantly like gun guys, right? And we talk a lot about the political side of things, and it's usually we always bring up like guns and whatnot. But every once in a while, man, we'll have some one-off wild conversations, and I feel like that's like kind of what sticks with people. And they're like, like, what's going on over
What
here?
are these
You know?
fucking guys talking about right now?
Like neither one of us have any type of doctrine.
No. Well,
not by an education board, at least.
yeah. I'm a doctor in the bedroom, ladies. Oh
Oh,
shit, that's gonna get me in trouble.
dude, did you see Trump? Was that all the NCAA?
Yeah, how cool. First of all, cool as shit that he even went, right?
Right?
Like cool as shit. Obviously got like a crazy ovation when he went there.
Oh yeah.
And then what's the wrestler's name?
Oh, hold on. Let me pull it up. I had it. I can tell you. Give
So he was
me.
an Air Force wrestler that was wrestling in this tournament. It was an NCAA tournament.
Yeah, and I actually had looked his name because I saw the video and it was pretty cool of what he said. But yeah, this was probably like the highlight. I mean, obviously he went in and met a tons of the athletes that were there, regardless, anyways. But
But yeah, so he goes in and Don will look up his name here, but the wrestler gets done wrestling and he walks up towards Trump and gives him an old salute, and that was badass.
yeah,
Um,
Wyatt Hendrickson.
Wyatt Hendrickson. So shout out Wyatt Hendrickson for giving old Trumpy poo. I
Yeah.
still got it. You see that? It comes back. I still got it.
I thought the cool thing about that, right? That whole story, and it's kind of like the American dream, right? Like he knew that Trump was going to be there. He's obviously he's a air what is air was he
Air Force. Yeah, Air Force Academy.
Air Force Academy, and which is awesome, right? Like but it was kind of he even said it himself. It's kind of like this David versus Goliath story, is like what he was saying, because he was like, nobody thinks I'm going to be able to beat him, and he's like, this has been my dream, and I just kept praying, and he gave thanks to God, which I thought was absolutely awesome. And I also think it's cool that, because before, if you were an athlete in the NBA or any other type of athlete, as soon as you mention God, it's like beep, they cut it off like so quick.
Yep.
So quick. Like it's never going to get aired, right? It might show up on an Instagram feed or something else like that. But to be a person in that position, you just won a national championship, right? You just won it. And to be able to put God on a pedestal like that in front of the whole world, man, salute to you, because I just think that that's awesome.
Yeah, salute to you, Wyatt Hendrickson. Speaking of NCAA tournaments, it's March Madness, my guy.
So I filled out a whole entire, you know, what are they called?
Bracket.
Yeah, I filled out an entire bracket, and I watched part of a game. I think it was like last week sometime. I like watched part of a game, and I have not paid attention to it. I don't know if I'm winning, if I'm losing. I have no idea.
I watched pretty much the entire Duke game today. I'm a Blue Devils fan, and they just kicked the shit out of Baylor to make the Sweet 16. So
And Baylor's awesome. And I'll tell you the one that I ended up watching, and I knew I had already lost, is because I said that Texas was going to beat Xavier, and then Xavier ended up smashing them. But I'm a Kentucky fan, like through and through.
Kentucky played, I believe, earlier today too. I didn't see the score on it though.
I haven't seen the score. Actually, you know what? Let's look that up just out of curiosity, because
I saw our Florida Gators out of Gainesville, Florida, God's country out there. They beat UConn today.
And Kentucky did win today. They beat Illinois, and it was 84-75. So
good win. Good win. I hate Kentucky, obviously, being a Duke fan, but
yeah, see, me, I can't stand it, because I remember growing up as a kid watching the game with Christian Laettner.
Yeah,
Throw up that bullshit shot.
Yeah, man, you were a young kid at the time because
Oh, dude, I watched everybody cry.
I was like 10 at the time, I think. So you would have been like 6 years old, maybe
Yeah, I was like 6.
5 or 6.
I remember I was at my step grandma's house, and the whole entire family was there. Every single person just glued in. All my uncles, well, I guess my step uncles, whatever, but and then all their wives, everybody, and it just when that shot went in, the amount of tears, like like it's so crazy. Like people don't understand in Kentucky. If you're from Kentucky, you understand, but if you're not from there, you don't get it. Like it is like it is like an emotional attachment that you cannot disconnect from if you're from Kentucky. Like I have seen grandmas cry for weeks over a loss.
That reminds me of in 1990, I think it was 1995, when the Steelers lost to the Cowboys, and Neil O'Donnell threw 2 interceptions to close out that game, and I cried into my terrible towel. Anyway, back to our normal shit that we talk about. Sorry, we're talking about NCAA tournament
So
basketball.
who do you got Duke playing at the end? Because I think Duke's gonna
Duke playing Florida.
Okay. So okay, I have Duke playing Florida too, but I also have Duke playing Kentucky again. And Duke had already lost to Kentucky, but it was at the beginning of the year. But I think, okay, so real quick, and we're going to get off this topic. The reason why I'm just going to say I'm sorry for all my Kentucky people out there. The reason why I'm saying it, if you guys go look, for whatever reason, there's like 2 players that are playing more than 20 minutes a game, and then that's it. Everybody else is playing like 2 to 4 minutes a game. So they're just constantly switching people out, which I think could be a good thing in the tournament, but it's a bad thing when you're playing a powerhouse like Duke. Now, Duke was very young in the beginning of the season. They've grown, and Kentucky's lost a bunch of games since then. So I'm sorry, guys, but I got
Cooper
Duke
Flagg's playing lights out.
Yeah, so I have Duke in Florida at that game too, and I would like to see Florida win, but it probably ain't happening.
I got a little love for Florida too, just because of the Gainesville connection and being up in that neck of the woods. Man, Don, quite an interesting last 2 weeks for the Second Amendment. We talked at the last episode that we didn't release about Trump's kind of campaign style speech at the DOJ 2 Fridays ago.
Yeah.
And I posted some snippets on Instagram, so maybe you guys saw them, where I was complaining about his campaign style speech and said, I don't give a fuck about that. I just want to know what the hell you're going to do for us.
Well, the caveat, the reason why he's saying that for is because that day when he gave that speech is when they were supposed to release all of the information about the executive order that he signed for the Second Amendment.
Right, correct. And we were supposed to get an update on that, and we didn't, and it got pushed back. Since then, I would not say that, obviously we haven't come full circle away from that yet. Not everything has been kind of situated.
It hasn't been perfect, but it's made leaps and bounds in 1 week.
Yeah, we've made some, we'll call it headway. One of the things that happened came out earlier today. Actually, it was a CNN broke the story of Kash Patel was sending ATF agents over to the FBI to function in the FBI's current kind of structure. What that means for us in the 2A community is that is less agents that are out there trying to catch us on some bullshit. Mark over at Four Boxes Diner does a great job on the breakdown of this one.
He's way smarter than us.
Yeah, he's way smarter than me for sure. But he makes a point of they're out there hemming people up because they have a barrel that's an inch too short or doesn't have the muzzle device freaking pinned and welded and all that kind of shit. And I forget what it's called. It's something blah 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 prohibition. Something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There. So essentially, what he's talking about is okay. So the only thing that the ATF can actually charge you with is a law that doesn't. It's not a moral crime, right?
Yeah.
It's just a crime because. So it's
Because somebody
based
wrote it in a book.
exactly where there's actual crime where somebody goes out and commits harm to somebody or commits harm to a business or
Murder,
does
rape, robbery, those sorts
exactly
of things.
those sorts of things. Yeah. So and you know the really this the gun thing, all the laws against guns are really stupid in the first place, right? Because it's like, oh, well, you could own a 16-inch gun, but if your gun is a centimeter shorter than 16 inches, well, all of a sudden now you've committed a felony, and it's like what arbitrary nonsense is going on? Like,
Right, because if you look at
doesn't make the gun any more dangerous.
no, and if you look at a scenario like that, like say I have a rifle that's a 16-inch barreled rifle, and I put a fixed stock on it. And so let's say the total length of that gun is like 20, the so-called 28 inches, 29 inches, something like that. Perfectly legal.
Mm-hmm.
If I take a 11 and a half inch AR pistol upper
Mm-hmm.
and I throw a SBA 5 on it, that is an adjustable stock, I can make it literally the same size as the one I have the fixed stock on.
Which makes it, which I'm saying, it's all arbitrary, it's all nonsense, right? Like that's what this really comes down to. It's a bunch of stupid laws. But the one cool thing that he did talk about, Four Boxes Diner, he was basically saying, and this is kind of a caveat to the whole Trump speech and everything else that was going on. He was like, "Hey, I told you guys to chill out. I told y'all to like calm down for a second because things are going to happen and good things are going to happen." And essentially, what he was talking about was actually with the continue resolution bill. So what that actually allowed to happen? Have you seen this?
Yep.
Okay, so what ended up happening is now it gives the Department of Justice a amount of money, right, an allotted amount of money, but they can choose whatever they want to do with it, right? And if you guys remember, okay, even prior to this, the ATF was called off and said, "Hey, no, you're going to start being Border Patrol all of a sudden," right? So you have a couple of different weird dynamics going on, and then today you found out that Kash Patel said, actually, I'm going to swoop up all of you guys for the most part and send you over here, and you guys are going to be FBI agents. We're going to make cops are going to be cops, and you're going to be a cop, right? So there's certain things that have happened because of whether it's the CRT or whether it's because of the whether it's because of the Second Amendment, executive orders that have allowed things to kind of go into play that we probably wouldn't see. And just for you guys to understand, there's 5,000 ATF agents. Okay, there's 5,000.
It's fucking nuts.
There's no need to be 5,000 ATF agents. That's just like an absurd. It may not sound like a lot to you if you're not a gun person, right? Or if you don't understand laws or how these things work. But 5,000 is an astronomical amount when literally 100 people could do the same job that those 5,000 people are doing and do it just as good effortlessly.
Well, yeah, considering that the Second Amendment and our right to self-defense is a God-given right. Therefore, it should not take many people to just do the simple processes that we have in this country, like background checks and that sort of thing, which the FBI is doing most of them anyway.
Well,
But
you always do it. I mean, every time you buy a gun, unless it would be like me and John selling each other a gun, then we don't need to do that because It's like that has nothing to do with the government, right? It
Right.
has nothing to do with anything. John knows I have my concealed carry license. I know John has his concealed carry license. We are lawful owners of guns, and I can trade back and I can sell to him. He can sell to me. Now that even that's weird stuff. Even going on with that for the first time ever.
Yeah.
Underneath Biden.
Business of.
Yeah, so even that stuff's starting to change. But the DOJ came back and actually stripped the ATF from being able to do rules, which I
Yes.
thought was interesting. So, in case you guys don't know, that is massive because rules is what got you stuff like the pistol brace rule. It's what got you
FRTs.
FRTs, the bump stock. It got you
80%
frames and receivers, which is an insane headache, right? Because it's like one day the court says you can have it, then the next day it says you can't, then another court comes back and says you can have it, and you never know, like unless you've been glued to YouTube, like if you're a lawful person that day or not.
Yeah,
It's
which is crazy
insanity.
because like even Don and I, even you and I, bro, like there's some things that like you just would know. Like let's say you moved from, and this is not necessarily in the ATF realm, but let's say you moved from I don't know, Pennsylvania to Florida or Texas to Florida. That's a good example. Texas to Florida, and you had your FRT trigger.
Mm-hmm.
It's illegal in the state of Florida. How would you fucking know that?
Yeah, you wouldn't have a clue. I mean that's
You wouldn't know.
And it gets, and actually this is kind of a perfect leeway. So I'm glad you actually brought that up, right? So talking about going from state to state. This week, Jim Jordan, I believe tomorrow, is finally going to bring to the floor a markup. So a markup, in case you guys don't know what a markup is once you get a certain people during this markup to agree to bring it to the floor and rule on it as a vote, well, then you can do that so it gets introduced first. Then it has a period called the markup period. And then so many people have to be attached to that. And then once so many people are attached, then you can bring it to the vote, or you can bring it to a vote on the floor. Now, a couple little things are a little weird with that because then you have to have, oh my God, what's his name?
Speaker of the House.
Speaker of the House. You have to have the Speaker of the House agree upon it to bring it to the floor, right? So, not saying that this is going to happen just yet. It should, by all means, it should. If Republicans are sticking true to their word and they're being a friend of the Second Amendment community, which is why they got voted in the first place, then this should happen. And what this is a constitutional concealed carry Reciprocity Act. You like that?
I'm so proud of you right now.
I have such a hard problem saying that word. And what that allows you to do. So, for example, if John wanted to cross state lines with a concealed carry gun, he can do that as long as he has a permit from his state, which is huge. Now, granted,
it has some holes.
It does have some holes. I'm glad. Go ahead, you tell him, because I was going to mention it.
Yeah, so it does have some holes. Collier Noir did a great video on this, referencing exactly the example I'm going to give right now. So I live in Pennsylvania. If I crossed over in New Jersey with this National Reciprocity Act, I would be legal to carry a firearm in the state of New Jersey. Now, there's two problems that arise because of this. Number one, currently, New Jersey has, I would probably call it the most strict, New Jersey and California, the two most strict requirements to get a concealed carry license in this country.
Mm-hmm.
So I, as a Pennsylvania holder, would be allowed to carry in New Jersey, but a large portion of New Jersey would not be able to carry in their own state because it's so hard to get one.
Yep.
That's problem number one. Problem number two is that my concealed carry gun is a P365 AXG Legion, which holds 17 rounds. Also, my choice of ammunition that I carry in that gun is critical defense. So even with national reciprocity, if I cross into New Jersey with that AXG Legion with the critical defense in it, I wear a wing holster with an extra magazine, so I carry 35 rounds on me. The magazine in the state of New Jersey is illegal.
Yep.
The ammunition in the state of New Jersey is illegal. They're both felonies.
Mhm.
So I would get 36 felonies, 36 felony charges, one for every bullet plus the magazine. Oh, sorry, got two magazines, 37 felonies,
Mhm.
even with national reciprocity. So until we strike down a lot of this bullshit that's going through the court system right now with high capacity magazines, like what we like to call standard capacity magazines, which we're going to get into here in a minute,
Yeah.
I still would be in trouble. So I would have to go out to my local gun shop, buy a gun that was, I believe it's 10 rounds, I think in New Jersey. I would have to buy a gun with a 10-round magazine that was New Jersey compliant and put in ammunition that was not hollow point ammunition in order for me to conceal carry in New Jersey.
Which is insanity.
Insanity.
Right? And this is the okay. Is it a good constitutional, the Constitutional Concealed Carry Reciprocity Act, is it great? Absolutely. And even with that being said, people, it's better to have the option than not to have the option. However, we have something called the Snopes case that the Supreme Court better pick up, because it is the biggest case that the gun community could ever have at the Supreme Court right now. And I mean, it like outside of abolishing and saying that the NFA is unconstitutional,
Right.
the GCA is, which as much as as somebody who is so pro 2A, like I would love to see that happen, but
It ain't happening anytime soon.
we got to take one step at a time, and this is the next step.
It's an assault weapons case, by the way. That's what Snopes is.
Yeah, and the reason, yep, and that and magazine ban
And magazine.
So what that would allow to happen is, because John just said it, so if the Supreme Court takes this case up and says absolutely not, this is unconstitutional, except obviously these accessories are constitutional. You can have that. You can have as many rounds as you want. That's arbitrary. We're going to keep saying that around here.
And capricious.
And capricious. There you go. See, 4 Boxes Diner, man. You know what I'm saying?
Fucking love you, Mark.
Smartest person in the room.
Shout out Gundy winner for top 2A voice.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, what that would allow you to be able to do is now John can go walk or go across into New Jersey.
I fucking walk in New Jersey.
Theoretically,
I could walk.
Yeah, he could walk across state lines, drive across state lines, whatever the case is, and be just fine, right? And that's where we're going to try to get to. So there's lots of amazing things that are great potentials that could happen, and we just have to, squeeze our butt cheeks real fucking tight until it does.
Yeah, this case, the Snopes case, isn't the only one that could help us out with this in this national, especially with the national reciprocity. There's also the case, whatever versus Bonta out in the Ninth Circuit in California. And so that just went up to the Ninth Circuit, and the Ninth Circuit rule, it was a high capacity magazine lawsuit.
Mm-hmm.
And the Ninth Circuit ruled that it is completely constitutional for California to limit the capacity of magazines. There were, I think, 3 or 4 judges that dissented. One of them, his name is Robert Van Dyke. Lawrence Van Dyke,
Mhm.
Judge Lawrence Van Dyke. This guy might have just placed himself as the boss of the boss for the Second Amendment. Like, he's better than Benitez out in California now. And St. Benitez, great fucking dude too.
Yeah.
However, Lawrence Van Dyke, this guy went full blown savage on the court. He had them shaking in their boots afterwards and had the rest of the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals basically like, oh my God, I can't believe he did this. So you ask, what did he do? This guy starts a video. He does a YouTube video to explain his dissent instead of like writing it all out. We knew it was going to be good because as he's sitting at the desk in his chambers, there's an AK-47 on the wall behind him, which I found to be just absolutely fucking fantastic.
That's the first thing that I noticed.
Yes.
I was like, okay. I was like, let's
Badass to
go.
begin with, right? Then he changes and he goes over to another table and he basically starts breaking down.
I actually no. Tell him what happened. Okay, so the video, what he does, caveat before that, he shows the clip.
Oh yeah.
So they're arguing this reasoning for why that they think this is constitutional to be able to take away your gun rights, right? And he uses this perfect example. What is it? Lawrence
Van Dyke.
Lawrence Van Dyke. Lawrence Van Dyke comes up with this example of well, so then you could just get rid of like a red dot or an iron sights or whatever it is, because you're basically just saying that any type of accessory you can really get rid of. And the guy started like fumbling so bad.
And totally said he has no idea what a red dot is.
Yeah, he had no clue, but yet he's arguing to take away your rights.
And then Judge Van Dyke to this guy says, "Well, I guess that just means you could ban automatic actions." And the guy goes, "Well, automatic weapons are banned, sir." And he goes, "I'm not talking about automatic weapons. I'm talking about automatic
actions." Yeah,
which is in every single semi-automatic or automatic weapon. Which is just funny that the people that are arguing these cases, they don't even know firearms. That's how fucked this is. So
that's the problem with the whole court system in general.
None of them know anything.
None of them know shit. And it's also what's scary about bringing certain things to the Supreme Court, even with conservative judges, because they just don't have a fucking clue.
They just don't know. Well, I highly suggest they all go watch Judge Van Dyke's video, because he then walks over to a table and starts breaking down a P320, one of these guys right here. He starts breaking down one of these guys. And first of all, let's just talk about how fast he breaks down a 320, because he is boom, boom. Even I'm like, I didn't even do it as fast as him, and that was like really fast, right?
Hey, dude, you know what's funny is how crazy is it that he stripped and took that whole entire gun apart so quick, right? Even like, okay, his process was insane, but he did that so quick, and yet a person who's supposed to be a professional about guns in the ATF couldn't even get a freaking Glock slide off.
What I will say is it is much easier to take down a 320 than a Glock, but he did it very fucking fast. I commented on Guns and Gears post. I was like, can we just stop and talk about how fast he fucking did? Because it was like fast. And he pulled out the takedown lever, which if you've ever tried to pull out a takedown lever on a P320, they can be a little bit difficult to like pull out sometimes. It's not that easy.
Yeah.
That's what she said. But so he proceeds to take this down. He goes on explaining like every little individual part of the firearm where you could make a case for banning it as well, because there's like another substitute part for it.
Mhm.
and or banning these substitute parts because there's already a part. So he's breaking this all down. This guy's got a masterful collection of 320s. I thought I had one of the largest collections of P320s.
I love when he took the bag of
he-
grips and
He takes
just
a
dumps
bag of 320 grip modules and dumps it out on the table. And he had a carry, he had a compact, he had a Wilson Combat one. He also had an X5 Legion one that I've got back on the wall there. And he proceeds to just start putting and taking apart all these 320s in his office to make a point that this is all fucking ridiculous.
Well, so yeah, his biggest point was just saying, well, if you can outlaw this magazine, well, then I guess you can outlaw this grip, or you can outlaw this sight, because he said technically
The firearm is just the fire control unit.
the fire control unit.
But he even said, even with the fire control unit, though, well, I guess maybe you could outlaw the trigger.
Because you can modify the trigger.
Right.
So anything that can be modified that isn't the action of the gun, then you could just get rid of. Which he said, well, guess what? Even if I have this FCU unit, right, and it's just the trigger, I wish you had one so we could show them what it looks like. Can you pull it out?
I'm gonna try, but I don't know if I can do it as good as he did.
So, anyways, essentially, what it is, it's a bar with the trigger, and that's it. The barrel's not there, the grip's not there, the slide's not there, but that's the firearm, right? But here's the thing. He even said, well, yeah, this is the firearm, so I guess they could outlaw the barrel. Yeah, right there. So, yeah, hopefully that zooms in nice. Perfect. So that is the firearm. Now, you can't put a bullet in that to shoot that.
Nope.
But that's the firearm. So technically, you could get rid of every single thing, but the government is going to say that that's a firearm, and that's all there is to it.
And they could outlaw this, because this is not the standard trigger that comes on a 320. This is from Armory Craft, and it's an adjustable trigger. So technically, they could outlaw this as well.
Which gets to the point of you could basically get rid of everything, and then you just don't have any gun at all.
Yep.
And that's what he's saying. He's like, because the barrel's not part of the gun. So, or is it by law isn't part of the gun, right?
It's an accessory.
It's an accessory. So then you could have something that you can never shoot. So then there's like, and he was just showing like how ridiculous the argument really was that they were making.
Great. My hands are all greasy now because I literally just fixed that gun earlier, Don. So I cleaned it as well. So now I've got gun lube all over my hands.
That's how, dude.
But I fixed that gun.
I mean, doing better than the ATF agents are. All I'm saying is shout out to that guy, because if we could get like, okay, I'm going to be the first to say it. The Fifth Circuit Court is the best court, period, for gun rights, right?
100%, yes.
I think it's Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. I think is what it is. But, however, caveat, I don't think that anybody, even on the Fifth Circuit, is as good as that guy.
No.
The thing that sucks about that guy, right, is that the rest
he's on the Ninth Circuit.
He's on the Ninth Circuit Court, and the rest of the Ninth Circuit Court is horrendous. And I think the big thing with guns, like, and whatever makes everybody upset is like, why are we having a bunch of people telling us what we can and can't do and what's lawful that don't even know what they're talking about? It's like in Congress, they're like, this thing will make a gun fully automatic. And it's like, dude, that is a pistol brace, which is arguably way worse than a stock or anything else. And it sure as Hades doesn't make
it more powerful. Does it make it more powerful? Does it make it automatic? None of that.
None of it. So it doesn't. There's nothing that thing does that makes it more dangerous, which is the point. A gun is a gun, and I will argue with anybody even on this. Even a machine gun, guess what, is no more dangerous than a regular gun.
If you've never shot a machine gun on full auto, Like you don't know. Like it's not accurate.
No, it's yeah, exactly. If anything, truly, a semi-automatic is probably a better weapon to have than even a full auto. Now, I would love to have a full auto. I would
'Cause
love
they're
to have a
fun as
full
fuck.
because it's fun and it has
There's a purpose.
there is a huge purpose for a full auto. Now, somebody like me, I would really like to just have 3 bursts. You don't even gotta give me like the full
Yeah,
auto
just a little
machine gun.
3-rounder would be great.
A little 3-round burst for me would be fantastic because honestly, I can control 3 rounds and get them down, which would be perfect for self-defense, in my opinion. But no matter what, it doesn't make a gun any more dangerous. At the end of the day, guess what? You have a projectile that's coming down at you at thousands of feet per second with a grainage weight of anywhere from
77, 55, 64.
yeah, all the way up to 308, where we can get all the way up to 175 grain. It does not make a difference. If it hits you, it's going to serve its purpose. Like, it doesn't matter if you get hit 1 time or 10 times. If
Or
you
from an 11.5-inch barrel or a 16-inch barrel.
or a 4-inch barrel.
Or a 4-inch
it
barrel.
doesn't make a difference.
No.
Like it doesn't make it any more dangerous.
You know what does make a difference, Don? How a gun looks. And can we just talk about how fucking awesome that fucking gun looks? Look at that damn thing.
That's a beautiful gun.
Shout out to, while we're doing this, shout out to Norso for the slide, and shout out to Brower for the sick ass 1911 style grip module, and also shout out to Olight for the optic on top of there. So yeah, just it gave me a chance to show off my gun that I just fixed too.
Did you get it fixed?
Yeah, it's fixed.
Oh snap. Oh snap.
I bought some 320 grit sandpaper today. So if you guys don't know, a little PSA for you here. If you ever want to get your gun Cerakoted like this, so sometimes if the person's not like an uber professional, they won't cover some of the areas that they should cover, like the backside of the barrel stop as well as the extractor well. And so there was Cerakote down inside of the extractor well and down on the backside of the barrel stop where the firing pin comes out. And so the pieces and parts wouldn't fit together, so it wouldn't extract around. So I had to go out and get some sandpaper and get that bad boy.
Get it going.
Get it going. Works like a champ now.
Well, anyways,
shout out Judge Lawrence Van Dyke.
That's what I was gonna say. Shout out to him, and thank you for. And how do you think the Supreme Court saw that? As much
Absolutely, it went viral. It was on CBS,
right? So now the Supreme Court, if they pick up any of these cases, that's going to be in the back of their mind, which is going to be a very, very good thing, or should be a very good thing for the Second Amendment community.
He knew exactly what he was doing there.
Mm-hmm.
I think this judge, just outsmarted everyone.
Yep.
Because he did something that, to be fair, he probably should not have done. Like, to be fair.
Well, because he knows there's going to be a lot of controversy around his name.
Exactly.
They're going to be like, oh, why is a judge holding on to blah, 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 blah. And you're going to hear a bunch of people cry about it.
And it's outside of like judicial precedent. And like, I mean, I'm glad he did it. But he did it for a purpose. And it was to put it on the radar of any court. And now that he has done that, it would be hard for anybody out there to say they hadn't seen it, because it blew up everywhere, not just in our circles, but on mainstream media as well. So
what states? Okay, so I know Ninth Circuit is it's California, Hawaii, and what other states?
Oregon, Washington, and Nevada. I believe.
I bet you he lives in
I think
Nevada.
he's in Nevada. Yeah, because he wouldn't have been able to have all the shit that he had.
Yeah, I bet you he's in Nevada. And Nevada, although it's weird, Nevada's kind of weird. Like it's got its weird little
They're pretty good on guns, though.
but they're typically pretty good on firearms.
And I'm pretty sure that first gun that he was tearing down was a Spectre comp. And obviously that would not be allowed in California. So
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure. I love how all these gun manufacturers are actually like releasing like these mainline guns in California, but with 12 rounds or 10 rounds or whatever their shit is. Like you can get X Macro in California now, but it's no different than an XL because it can only take 10 rounds.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. But I mean, if you're in that, if you're in a communist state,
You got to do what you got to do. I mean,
gotta
I
do
have
what
them.
you
You've seen it. Like I think I showed it on here one time. I have an M&P 15 sitting over there that has a fucking bullet button in it. It was a California gun, and I owned it prior to them changing the law where you have to break down the gun now to put a magazine in because they have to have fixed magazines, and that weird thing that sticks off of the grip.
the fin or whatever.
Yeah,
they're
the
called.
fin. So this is even predates that back to when it was just a bullet button, and to eject a magazine, you had to stick a bullet into the hole to depress the magazine to get the magazine to drop out.
Like, you talk about like insanity.
Insanity.
It is nuts. So, and if I hate to argue it, like, well, actually I love it, but that is way more dangerous. Way
Yes.
more dangerous.
You'll get people killed.
Yes, 100%.
So if I run through, so the max you can have in a magazine there is 10, right? It's very easy to shoot 10 rounds out of an AR-15.
I think people don't understand that, dude. I really don't. I don't, because people are telling me like, oh, he shot at him 8 times. That's like crazy. Let me tell you, if somebody's coming after your family, right, and your nervous energy's all built up, you grab it and you pull. And this is why they always tell you don't ever talk to the police afterwards, because then you'll say, oh, I don't know, I shot like 2 shots, and you shot like 9,
right?
Because the adrenaline is
You're
so crazy. And now they've caught you in, well, you lied. You said you shot on twice. And so then they will use that against you in court. So don't ever say that. But people don't get it. The amount of adrenaline, like 10 rounds is nothing.
I mean, you and I shoot 6 rounds in a bill drill in under 2 seconds.
Yeah. Like, I mean, people instantly like that. Like it's just boop, 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 boop.
Yeah, so if you look at the bullet button thing, you could only have a 10-round magazine. So, and out of an AR, I can even do it faster than I can do it with a pistol. And then I have to like stop and fiddle around and get the fucking magazine out to put another magazine in. What if I had multiple people coming at me? What if I've got 4 people robbing my home?
Mm-hmm.
Like it makes no sense at all. I have a little contraption on mine that some people came out with after the bullet button thing, and it sits on top of your magazine release, and it's a little magnetic thing so that when you push it, it pushes in on the bullet button. So
Oh, nice.
I'm pretty sure those became illegal there at some point, especially when they changed it to where you had to like break the whole fucking thing down. But I digress, man.
Well, I think this goes good, right? Because now we're like, I will say this. So we've talked about that. We talked about Trump, and then we talked about some changes. I know that we were pretty upset which they haven't seen. The Liberty Goons base here hasn't seen, but we were pretty upset talking about that we didn't think that the DOJ was doing enough. We didn't think that Trump was doing enough, really, and we were kind of upset. I think the whole Second Amendment community was pretty upset, and I think people were trying to hold back, but then it was like one person was like, "No, this is crazy."
It was boiling, yeah.
And it started a boil.
Jared got me the most fired up, I think. Like, because he went all in on it, and I did too. One, I told you, and to flash back, since you guys didn't get to see, my main point that I was upset with is that he gave this campaign style speech talking about how CNN hates him and how the DOJ was out to get him and all the stuff we heard at his rallies, right?
It's like, bro, we already voted for you.
We already voted for you, bro. You're in there. I want
Yeah.
to know what the fuck you're doing right now. Like,
Yeah.
you're on the foot of the DOJ. Let's talk about now, man.
Now, granted, he's done it a lot, people. Like, we're not saying that he
I'm
hasn't
not
done.
saying that he
We're
hasn't.
talking about specifically in this category right here, and this is one of the big pushers of why we went so hard for him on our podcast, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Is for the Second Amendment. Now, caveat to that, a week later, we started seeing lots of changes, which I kind of said earlier too. Like, we started seeing the changes. We started seeing like a couple different things going on, and the DOJ pulling rules from, which I think is huge.
It's huge.
That's monstrous, people. And if you guys don't realize how big that is, and you guys have been asleep at the wheel for the past 4 years.
Yeah.
That's massive to be able to pull them from being able to make rules. Now, the next thing that is really, really big is the DOJ has changed its stance on the suppressors. Okay. So in case you guys don't know, in the Fifth Circuit, so it's the Fifth Circuit Court, and it's the United States versus George Peterson. Okay. Right. And essentially what's going on in this case is they end up having a 3-judge panel. The 3-judge panel said basically the same thing that happened in the Ninth Circuit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, this is an accessory. This isn't a firearm. This is, you can, clearly ban this, or whatever the case is. I don't even think they said ban. Like, they were just saying like this isn't part of a gun.
It could be regulated.
Yeah, it could be regulated because it's not a gun, right? However, that completely goes against everything in Bruen, because Bruen states very, very clearly that any accessory to make a gun operate is covered by the Constitution of the Second Amendment. So they went against Bruen, big time. And then I think because of people like Guns and Gadgets and
this community freaked the fuck out.
Yeah, like I mean, you name it. Like, people went pretty crazy. This is one of the things that we talked about, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the last episode too. And I think we even talked about this on the phone a couple times.
Yeah.
Of like what the heck? Like, and at that point in time, the Pam Bondi hadn't said anything or done anything.
Yep.
And they just let the ruling stay. And I was like, what?
We're all like, what the fuck?
Like, what? Like, are you kidding me? But since then, it has changed. And I from my understanding, and I could be wrong, I guess they want it to be heard I guess the Fifth Circuit Court wants it to be heard by a full panel of judges.
Well, and what the DOJ said was, hey, before you do this, before you issue any kind of ruling, mm-hmm. we want to rethink our stance.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Because it was a rogue federal attorney from Louisiana that went after this.
Yeah.
And so Pam Bondi came out and said, whoa, please,
stop.
wrote a letter. Stop. We're rethinking our stance on this whole thing.
Because here's the big thing, in case you guys don't know. What Pam Bondi can do is say, hey, we've changed our point of view on this, but we still want the case to be heard, and we want a final answer on it. Pam Bondi can easily do that.
Yep.
We've changed stances. We are not going to protect ourselves, but we want the final hearing to be heard and to have a final rule on it. Once the final rule has been heard, it's done and over with. There's merits to the case. Done and over with. Guess what? Nobody is going to bring that back up to the Supreme Court. So how they rule that justification is now we as the Second Amendment community can say, actually, no, places like I can't remember where it is, Illinois, and I know there's a couple other places that are like you can't have a suppressor. Now they can take this case and now bring that out and attack all those other cases where it's unconstitutional and yada yada yada. Places that have ruled it to where, oh no, we can regulate this, because now that there's precedent for it and it has a final ruling on it.
Exactly.
Which is
Exactly. So this is huge. It's a very large stance change, and I do believe that I think Don, we've talked about this a little bit, but I think the key player in all of this is Don Jr.
I think so
because
too.
Don Jr. is in the 2A community. He was at SHOT Show. He knows all these gun guys. He's a big fan of GOA, and so
Well, he
it's
owns
something.
he owns a gun. He owns a gun credit card line of business too.
Yes. So,
and I might be saying that improperly. Like I'm not.
it's a financing. It's a financing company for firearms.
Correct. So to have somebody, obviously he doesn't want his business hurt either, but also at the same time, I don't even think that it matters about him having a business. It's that he is a big Second Amendment advocate because he is a big time gun owner.
Right. So I'm pretty sure he heard all of the stuff that was going on. I guarantee you he's watching all the big guys out there.
I'm sure of it.
And so he heard all of that and said basically, yo, Dad, like, what the fuck? We gotta do something here.
I'm sure.
Speaking of,
and
it's his estranged wife that Tiger Woods is banging now, right?
I have no idea.
Have you seen this?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh. I'm pretty sure it's Don's estranged wife, right? I'm pretty sure.
Is it?
Yeah. So
this just took a complete turn. I don't know what's going on here.
So he is said to be dating Vanessa Trump, which I believe is the ex-wife of Donald Trump Jr.
That's insane. Didn't Trump bring Tiger Woods?
Yes.
Like to speak and stuff?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
I mean, they must be cool. You know what I mean?
Cool.
Must be cool.
Hopefully she stays away from the golf clubs. Good up myself. Oh gosh. Anyway, but Don is not this Don. Don Jr. Is I think the key player in all of this.
I think so too, right? And then they're trying to get in. What's that guy's name? They're trying to get him passed through the Senate.
The Solicitor General.
The solicitor, yeah, and he's a big Second Amendment guy too.
He is.
He's kind of like he's a very big, much a big time key player. Obviously, now, I mean, Kash Patel, obviously, we heard Kash Patel. We think that Kash Patel is good on the Second Amendment, although I don't know just how good he is on the Second Amendment yet.
Agreed.
He talks a lot of great things, but we've heard tons of people talk lots of great things,
Yeah, story of our lives here.
So I don't know how good he's going to be, but he's because, okay, in case you guys don't know this, there was some weird stuff going on. As soon as he became an ATF agent, then the ATF started like going after people still for FRT triggers. We didn't even talk about this.
We talked about it last time.
Oh yeah, I guess we did. We talked about it last time. So in case you guys don't know, there was a court hearing by a federal court. Said they overturned the FRT ruling. Said absolutely not. You have to return all of these FRT triggers to every single person that owned one. Like that's it, done and over with, right? And then that were part of, I can't remember, was it FPC and GOA and maybe something else,
or maybe Nagger.
Yeah, maybe it was Nagger as well.
Basically, their first response though was, "We don't know where all these fucking go."
Yeah,
because I guess they didn't catalog them when they fucking took them.
Well, yeah, because I bet you that the ATF is known to sell things to across the border and everything else. So
Yeah, wait, is Eric Holder involved in this?
so who knows if they're even like they're probably like, fuck, we probably have to purchase these to even give them back at this
Yep.
point.
Yep.
And that's honest to God. In case you guys don't know, if you don't understand what we're talking about, Google ATF Fast and Furious, and you'll understand exactly what we're talking about. But it's very possible that they could have just sold those across the border, or people could have taken those home, or maybe some of them got melted. I don't know. And that's why they're struggling, because they told them at first it was like, these have to be sent back immediately. You have like 30 days. And then they pushed it back to, okay, I think they gave them like, what was it, 2 months?
No, I think it was like 6 months.
Oh, is it 6 months?
Yeah.
Well, now here we are. We're past 6 months, and then the DOJ is like, yeah, we like they started trying to do some weird stuff. The ATF said like the ATF even came out and said, no, if you own one of these triggers, like we're still going to come after you, type vibe. And this is after Trump had already been elected. So the whole Second Amendment community is like kind of tripping out at this point. Like, what the hell is going on?
And then they came out and said, in order to get your FRT trigger back, we have to perform a background check on you.
Yeah, which isn't even a gun, because it's not an FCU. It's just a trigger.
It's just a trigger.
So it doesn't do anything. It's not a firearm in itself, right? Where an FCU is considered the serialized, whatever for the firearm. But yeah, I don't know. The whole thing was weird. And then Kash Patel obviously was part of the ATF already at that point in time. And now you're starting to see those things kind of like deteriorate. The DOJ is being like, no. So maybe, guys, and I don't want to just come out and say like they're getting rid of all this crazy shit that was happening the first month or so that Trump was president, but it looks like they are. So still got a little ways, but there's
we'll see.
But they're chipping away at some stuff.
They're chipping away. Of course, I'm always going to want them to chip faster. We could have gotten 3 pieces of legislation passed by now, and I'd still be fucking upset about something. It's the nature of my life. I'm just pissed unless I have it all. So, I get it. And Don tries to be the voice of reason, which is fucking amazing that Don tries to be the voice of reason for me. Let's just be honest here. Folks. Like Don trying to be the voice of reason for me. I'd still be upset. Oh, if you guys are seeing this blue mark on my hand, it's because I went to a really fucking shitty gun show today, and in Pennsylvania, in Allentown, and they stamped my hand with what looks to be some sort of white power symbol. So I'm not really sure what the fuck is going on.
That's hilarious.
Oh man, things are coming. They're just not coming fast enough for me, but they're coming.
I mean, I don't disagree with you. I mean, we before we were on here, we were even talking about the Supreme Court, right? Like
Yep.
we think that it's ridiculous that you're taking a handful of cases every single cycle, and it's like, but before,
what are you doing?
But before you were taking 180 cases, and now it's like, oh, we're going to take whatever. I don't know what it is, like 25 cases.
We need to take the couches out of their offices. Take the couches out of the offices, because they ain't doing shit. They must be laying down taking naps or something.
But, I mean, like, even I said, well, oh, it's because they want to have this done and they want to have that done. But the more I'm thinking about it, I'm like, okay, I don't really care what they want to have done. They should just be ruling on it.
Yeah, like ruling this shit. Could you imagine if you or I produced at 25% of the level that we produced at 5 years ago?
Yeah, it's insane.
I wouldn't have a job anymore.
Yeah, no way, no chance.
No chance. Not a chance in hell. And that just wraps us all up into this thing where like everybody's so fucking pissed about like getting rid of some of these government employees. Like, you do realize that they are not held to the same standards that you are in the private world.
No, definitely not.
They're off every fucking major holiday. Most of them like were working from home. We all know what that is. Most of them were like they would get like every other Friday off. Like wild shit, dude. Wild shit. Like think about like when you would go to say like a passport agency or anything like that, and they've got like 37 booths that you could walk up to, right? And there's probably 100 employees in the building, but they've got 2 lanes open.
It's insane.
It's insane. The airport, prime example. The airport has like 1,000 freaking what are they called? The TSA agents, right? And you're sitting there with your suitcase waiting for the family of 8 that you fucking got stuck behind to get their shit up on there because there's one freaking lane open.
45 minutes to, and depending where you are, to 2 hours sitting in a freaking lane just waiting. You know what I mean? And even if you pay the extra money to have the fast lane or whatever it is, in some states or some airports, even that takes forever.
Yeah, or you could be like Don, a criminal like Don, and get detained at the airport for bringing firearms into an airport. If you didn't know, guys, a digital night vision scope is considered a firearm to the TSA. Fucking criminal Don.
I'm not going to say who told me, but there was somebody who was like, oh, have you ever been to Newark? And I was like, the airport. And I'm not going to say the reasons why, but I was like, yeah, I've been there. And she's like, it's terrible. It's the worst. And I was like,
yeah, I saw the inside of a holding cell.
I was like, yeah, it's pretty terrible. Dude, I don't understand it. So in case you guys don't know, okay, literally a scope. They told me that it was illegal to bring a piece. Okay, a scope, guys. If anybody's watching this that has no idea what gun stuff is, it's 2 pieces of glass, okay, that you look through that you can zoom in and zoom out of. So basically binoculars, but for a gun in absolute layman terms, okay? Told me that I had a NFA item that I wasn't legally allowed to have, that I am bringing on an unlawful item into the airport, got stuck there for, God, how long was I there for, John?
It was a while.
Dude, put me in a holding cell, waited for the freaking police to come. Insanity. And then finally they're like, oh no, he can have that. I'm like, yeah, I know. I've been saying it. I pulled it up. John, I'm over here texting at the airport, texting John, bro. He's like, you gotta be shitting me over a scope. And he's like, let me pull this up. Pulls it up, sends it to me, the freaking guidelines. I try to show it to the guy. Guy doesn't give a fuck. Like, doesn't care what I'm trying to show him. Like, these are your rules. How do you not know your own rules?
Yeah, I screenshotted it straight from the TSA.
Yeah, like, how do you not know your own rules? And then finally, after sitting there forever, finally a cop comes and he's like, so what's the item that you have? And then the TSI guy, oh, here, let me show it to you. Comes out and he brings it in the box, and the cop's all looking at it, and he like opens it up and he was like, he said, this is just a scope. Like, he can absolutely have this. And I'm like, I know, motherfucker. I know.
You should have been like, and to be honest, the battery's probably dead in it right now, and it doesn't fucking turn on anyway.
No joke, because we had it on before. Like, just like the most, and the wild part about it is they handed it back to me and then made me get back in line.
Oh, wow.
And then I went through the line, had to go through the line one more time, and then put my back through, and I said, hey, TSA guy, I want you to know. And then they run it through again, and it gets pulled off the side again. And then they run it through the thing, and then the woman's like, how did you get back in line? I said, I was like, oh my God. I said, the cop freaking gave me my stuff back and put it in the, let me put it in my bag. It's lawful. And then finally the TSA guy walks over. Yeah, we talked to the police. It's legal. I'm like, bruh. I'm like, get me. And I was like 5 minutes to get on into the freaking airplane, dude. Yeah.
Speaking of, if you guys have not messed around with thermal at all, Don and I were in a hotel room. This sounds bad, but we were in a shitty hotel room in Clearfield, Pennsylvania, and I broke out my ATN, I believe it's called the Blaze Tech thermal monocular. That shit's fucking awesome.
That thing is sweet.
Dude, guys, you got to go get one. You can literally touch something, and because of the heat signature from your hand, when you pull it away, it shows up like as your hand in the fucking thermal. Dom was watching my foot marks as I was walking around.
It was so badass. That thing was
so badass.
So like, sick.
Even if, like, say you had it on a gun, right? And you were in a room, and like, say you open the hotel room door and you're coming in or whatever, and the person that you're after or was after you or whatever you want to call it, say they run into the bathroom, right? So you can't see them, so they're not going to come up on thermal. You would be able to see their footprints with the thermal running away.
Which is sick, dude. It's sick. It's almost like obviously night vision has its own place, but it's almost cooler than night vision in a lot of ways, right?
Yes, agreed.
Like, it really is, just for that simple fact. Like, I think that's why the night, like the one night vision goggle and then like the thermal goggle is like became such a big thing.
Because, dude, I tried that. Have you tried that?
Oh no, it makes you absolutely nauseous.
Holy shit.
It's so hard. Like your brain is so confused.
It's hard enough with regular just like night vision on because your depth perception's all fucked up. But when you add a thermal and and night vision, I'm not good enough for that.
Yeah, I think it's something that you got to train, like, clearly. But I think that being able to switch from one to the other, like, I don't think I'd be a person that would be able to wear both of them at the same time. Like, I think that I would have to be like, okay, I'm gonna flip this one up or flip that one up.
Yeah, I could wear one or the other, but not both.
Both is pretty tough. But shout out to all of you people that have like way better brain function than me and John,
right?
that can somehow control your senses, because it is
stay tuned
wild.
if you're into thermal. Stay tuned. I would say probably in the next 2-3 weeks or so, I'm gonna have a review out over on 2A Patriot Ranch of the DNT optics. It's called their Hydra, and it is a 3-in-1. So you can use it as a like standalone monocular. You can use it as a rifle mounted optic, or you can use it as a rifle mounted optic with your own optic behind it.
That's sick.
So like it's pretty fucking cool.
That's
pretty fucking cool. From DNT Optics. So go show those guys some love. They're doing some pretty cool shit.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. That's super cool.
Oh man. Don, what you got going on this week, my brother?
Oh man, just trying to make new things happen in my life. Can't get to it just yet, but hopefully some big changes will happen soon that are good. Outside of that, man, I'm hoping that I get to shoot next week, and I haven't shot in so long. It's been crazy. But that's kind of my goals. Just get prepared for the week. I'm gonna get prepared as soon as I get off here. Do a little bit of studying for my job that I have right now, for some stuff that's coming up, and yeah, man, that's pretty much it, dude.
Yeah, I got to get some regular work done this week for sure. I was in Virginia again for an entire week last week, last minute. I don't know. Some of you may have caught me on if you're in the Richmond area, I was on the Richmond CBS morning news.
I
For my
saw that little clip that you had put on
yeah
Instagram.
yeah
That was cool.
for my normal job. It's a funny story. So I did that, right, and I was back at the restaurant in Richmond afterwards, and one of the servers comes up to me and she goes, John, she goes, my table over here, they want to meet the hunk that was on TV earlier. And I walk around as these four old ladies eating lunch together. I was cracking up. So that was cool. Hopefully I think I'm home for at least this week. I've got another restaurant opening coming up here in like 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. I'm also going to be back in the free state of Florida, semi-free state of Florida, I'll call it now. I'll be in Fort Lauderdale in 2 weeks for Tortuga Festival.
Interesting.
Yeah, I believe this year's lineup is pretty fucking sick. I say that because I go to so many festivals. Oh yeah, Jelly Roll. Headliners are Jelly Roll, Keith Urban, and Luke Combs.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's gonna be a hell of a show.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Parker McCollum, Jordan Davis, Megan Maroney. We got a little Ludacris mixed in there. Shabuzi, big fan of Shabuzi. Cody Jinks, Gary Allen. Like, it's going to be so much fun. It's on the beach in Fort Lauderdale. So I got to work on my beach body here for 2 weeks.
Man, Fort Lauderdale wouldn't be a bad place to live.
I know. So if you guys see me, I know a lot of you are probably country music fans, you gun loving people out there. If you see me, I'll almost every festival I'm rocking 2A Patriot Ranch apparel. Most of the time I've got something like this one on, my cowboy shit shirt. So if you see me, tap me on the shoulder and say, hey, I want you on 2A Patriot Ranch or Liberty Guns.
Say, what up, John?
Say, what up? But I also have to get out and shoot, dude, because it has been like way too long. I haven't even been out to the ranch in like a month and a half.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, you probably haven't shot at the same time then, because I think it's been 6 or 7 weeks since I've shot.
Yeah.
7 weeks maybe, which is for you people out there, that might be like, oh, that's nothing, but for me, like, that's insane. Like,
yeah, I'm usually shooting at least every other weekend. And I just haven't been able to, but I've got a big video shoot coming up here, probably in the next, I don't know, 45 days or so. We are going to be releasing our War Wagon video. I don't know exactly what we're going to call it yet. It's going to be something along those lines, but we're taking the good old Rebel and we're sprucing her up a little bit. She's getting a new tonneau cover and a truck rack and a truck top camper or truck top tent and a bunch of other shit. So
I'm excited to see that.
Yeah,
I'm super excited to see that. I've been getting to see all the little stuff that you guys don't get to see. John's like, hey, check this out. And I'm like, let's go.
Yeah, you get the insider scoop on it. But basically the video, guys, is going to be centered around, if you've watched the channel lately, I've kind of expanded out from just doing gun reviews to a lot of gear reviews and stuff like that. And this is basically like a combo video of like normal kind of like you're out on the ranch camping style, plus also like, hey, what would this setup look in a SHTF scenario? Like my truck will be the thing that I can hop into and have basically everything I need to survive for a period of time, to get out of the elements, to have food, to take a shower, to have water, to protect myself, all those things. So,
you're going to have crazy people in here. Oh yeah, you're one of those crazy people, blah, 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 blah. You think that you're going to make it. It's the insanity that
Yep.
people have is
Go
wild.
back like 8 episodes to where we actually talked about like bugging out is not necessarily the best for everyone. For me, part of my plan is getting to my family compound, which happens to be across the state. So, yes, I'm going to bug out, and my vehicle is going to help me do that because all I need to do is be able to survive through the wilderness of Pennsylvania to get across the state. I'm not going to try to go it alone. I'm not lone wolf styling it out here. I'm not going to go like shoot some deer on the. I mean, probably could go live on the ranch. There's fucking deer and bear and all kinds of shit out there, but not my intention.
No joke, dude. Like
Not my intention.
some people are insane. Like I don't get it. I don't like our that little episode that we did. We're talking about like, hey, like you should stay inside your house and just like try to get some food and make sure that you're stocked up and yada yada yada. And people took that like in like next level insanity. Oh, you guys would never make it. Y'all would die. And it's like, what are you talking
I think
about?
that's the one we got called fat in a lot.
Yeah, we got
Uh,
called fat in it. I'm like, what are you talking about?
What are
Like,
you talking about? Especially like one of our biggest points was like, if you live in a rural area, just stay where the fuck you're at. Like, where are you gonna go?
oh my
Now, if
goodness.
you live like at the time, I think when we made that one, I can't remember, but like I lived in downtown Miami for a period of time for almost 3, 4 years. You wouldn't if society is collapsing, you don't want to be in downtown Miami in a high rise. I can guarantee you that. You should probably find your way to fucking somewhere.
Yeah, no joke.
But even in that scenario, I'm still not going to try to just take my truck and drive out into the woods and like chill in my rooftop tent. Like that's not the long-term goal there. That's a very short-term band-aid. Like,
Especially in Florida, people don't understand, man. Like the elements,
fuck.
like the elements are insane. Uh, like I like heat, the bugs, or if you're in the cold, like I don't care if even if you're from freaking Wyoming, like even if you're from there, you've grown up there your whole entire life. You know dang well you do not want to be sitting out there for 8 days straight in a freaking I don't know a tent, and then that's all you got. Like that's just like it's outrageous. Like it's insane.
No.
So like everybody thinks that they're gonna like hightail it to the mountains or the whatever the swamp. Like you guys are out of your minds.
Yeah. My little Mr. Buddy propane heater only works for like I don't know, maybe like 9 hours straight. So I'm pretty sure I'd be fucked
Yeah, no
right
joke.
after that.
Like
But yeah, so we got that video coming out. It's gonna be a fun one. And the truck gets all decked out. So that'll be a fun one to do. So and I've got just man, we've got body armor reviews to do. Oh, you know what? Before we go, we should talk about this a little bit. So Tacticon, like
oh yeah.
what's going on, guys? Jake let out a video this week, and we're saying this. So both Don and I are Tacticon fans. So
Yeah.
this is not a bash Tacticon comment here. To be honest, in the T-Rex versus Tacticon wars, we were on the Tacticon side of the argument. But so Nolan and I always forget the other fucking dipshit's name.
I can't remember
Um,
his name either.
they left because they weren't making enough money supposedly. But Tacticon is not going out of business, unlike maybe Aero Precision. And Jake put out a video on it, and I wish those guys the best because I really like what they're doing over there, and I think that they put out a pretty quality product for the price point, and
I do too.
I wish them the best, and I hope. I think people that think that the social media guy and then another content creator are the ones that are gonna like make or break uh, a brand, like that's crazy.
Yeah, not at all. Not even close. I mean, it can help your brand for
Yeah,
sure. It can help it, but at the end of the day, like you know, business is business. Like I get it. I understand. I mean, both me and John work. We both are running numbers all the time. We both are over lots of money that we have to that flows through
Mhm.
our fingertips at certain points. So,
Yep.
I mean, like at the end of the day, like they have amazing prices. So I don't understand why you would leave. It's not like any of those guys are actually making the product, so it's not like the product itself is changing. It's
No.
still the exact same product.
And, like,
Um,
I like Nolan, don't get me wrong.
no, I do too. That's the thing. Like I like those guys too. I understand you need to make more money, um, and you're leaving, so I get it. But for people saying that the brand is dead, I just like that's like
I just completely disagree,
yeah,
you
like
know?
that's absurd.
Yeah, it's not a thing. Aero
Mm-mm.
Precision, on the other hand,
That's iffy.
they might be
That
dead.
that is the Aero Precision. And the sad part is I had a buddy who was trying to get into guns that I worked with, and I set him up on a builder's kit, basically put everything together for him, and he ordered that probably 7 months ago, and
Holy shit.
still hasn't gotten it. Not one thing, not one item.
Yeah, my public service announcement to all of you out there that might want a Aero Precision product right now is buy it through a distributor,
Hmm.
because they have the actual stock of the product, and do not buy from Aero Precision directly right now. And that goes for Aero Precision, Stag Arms, Ballistic Advantage. What other little companies do they own?
I don't know. I mean,
There's a couple of them,
there's
but
there's definitely a couple of them, but I mean, the real reason why that's all going on is they are taking your money up front, then they are trying to then take that money and then spend it on being able to build the stuff that they already owe people from months prior in order to
it's basically a Ponzi scheme.
get that shipped out, which I get it, right? Like
That's
you,
how business works sometimes.
it's how it works sometimes, but to the level of how far behind they are and how far behind they are on bills is pretty insane, man. Like,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't go out and jump because obviously, I mean, you're a person in the gun world, like you want business, you want to be able to like review stuff, and I mean, even me, like I'm a person like I don't want to have any bad relationships with brands or anything like
No,
that.
and this is not anything against
It,
their products or anything like that.
no, that's what I'm saying. It's not that. It's just the fact that obviously they're located in a pretty bad place, that not very gun friendly. I believe Washington, right? Isn't that where they're
I think so,
located?
yeah.
One of those like anti-gun states, and they just got to the point where they were taking in tons of orders. They didn't have the money to be able to make the stuff that they needed to ship out. So then they had to take more orders. So then they kept doing that over and over and over and over again to now where the back ordering is absolutely insanity. And the worst part about it is they're like not telling anybody. Like they're not upfront about it. They're not saying,
Yeah,
"Oh,
they
by the
try to put
way,
out an excuse of like this some guy was like on leave because of a friend that passed away. I saw some stories and I was like, this is not making it look any better, guys.
yeah, dude, s- like 7 months.
Yeah,
7 months is insane. If
that's insane.
could you imagine, like, let's say you bought, let's say, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a gun that everybody really wants that's expensive right now. I don't know. I would say Staccato, but they always have back orders or Atlas and all that stuff too. But this,
Say like a M&P 2.0.
yeah, yeah, exactly. An MMP 2.0, and you've always been able to get it. It's cheap, it's reliable. You can buy it right then and there. You know it's coming. You pick it up at your FFL in a week, and then all of a sudden it's like you start doing that, and then now it's like you've been waiting for 6 months on your MMP, and now other people are waiting, and other people are waiting, and other people are waiting. It's just not a good way to have a business, especially if you're not being honest with your customer. Just tell them what it is. Hey, we can't produce this stuff. We're behind on orders, and we're behind on paying bills.
Yeah, and that's why, my public service announcement is not to buy Aero Precision. It's, if you're going to do it, buy it through a distributor, whether online distributor or your local, gun shop, if they have a distributor that carries Aero products or something like that. There's plenty of places you can buy them other than through them that have current stock on hand, and it's not getting so. Quick way the gun world works, guys. So when you buy a gun online, like 90% of the time, that gun is not coming from the place you ordered it from. It's either shipping directly from the manufacturer to your FFL or from a distributor to your FFL.
Mm-hmm.
Almost all the time, that's how it is. Occasionally, like maybe some mom and pops are sending guns out, but that's generally how it works.
Yeah.
With some more mainstream products like, say, Aero uppers and things like that, they're most likely either coming from the distributor or from the place that you're buying it from. And it's not coming direct from the manufacturer. So just to tell you how things work a little bit.
Yeah, it's a little bit different, and it's a lot more reliable. Which it doesn't mean that you're not being anti-Aero. Like, you can still buy something.
And they make a great product.
Yeah, I don't know. We talked about this the other day. I mean, they make a good, cheap, reliable lower. Their barrels, almost every single like AR company on the planet uses
Ballistic Advantage.
Ballistic Advantage. Like, I mean, unless you just got something like insane Gucci. I mean, like, there's tons of companies that are using Aero. So their product's still good. We're not saying that. We're not bashing them. Just I would avoid.
I'm not calling them Watchtower right now. We're gonna go down a rabbit hole. Anyway, guys, if you're buying Aero, buy it from a distributor.
Yeah.
And buy Tacticon too, because they're still fucking cool as hell too.
Yeah, I agree.
And also, buy from a guy. His tag on Instagram is Rebels Raiders. I just got a full fucking plate carrier kit, all set up, all the bells and whistles and shit for like $215. He's a gun guy. He's in the 2A community, doing crazy good things out there. So shout out to him as well. That's not a sponsored thing. I actually purchased that. So
that's when you know he likes it.
Yeah, if I purchased it, because I don't purchase much anymore. But when I do, you're gonna know. Oh, all right, guys. The guy right over there, that's Don. I'm John. We are the Liberty Goons, and we are out.